Hello, gentle viewer. I don't know if you know, but there's been a lot going on just in the general space of Twitter regarding the Me Too movement lately, and people coming out and talking about various content providers, people that are very high up there, influencer wise, that basically have a lot to say and a lot to do. Now I've already talked about this with one other person. The only reason I'm even going over this at all is because I have a personal experience with this particular person. Not directly in line with what's happening or what's being talked about by these other people, but I did want to go over it. So this is the first one that came out about the Big Greats. Greats is a person on Twitch. He pretends to be a dog. You can see behind me here. That's his avatar that he uses. He's been using that for many years, and treating the whole thing like, oh yeah, actually a dog, and I have my assistant who is actually him, and stuff like that. Going into detail about that and playing up aspect things, but then in person, you meet in person, he's completely different. So let's first talk about Amalith. She's an important person to me just because I've watched her streams and she's a very chill and relaxed person, and she kind of lent me to she helped me in an indirect way realize that I was no good for streaming. So and not saying this in a bad way. If ever Emma should happen to watch this, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that happened. Just sort of showed me that I wasn't as far as dealing with my own demons and mental processes, not ready for anything bigger than a very casual sort of thing with streaming. So, anyways, she's been having a whole bunch of stuff going on with greats, and she goes over it. And she did a twit longer back on the 22nd and talked about it in detail, talking about how she's been watching everything happening around him and how she's had her own history with abuse, mental and physical, and then mental and physical and neglect and abandonment over her time, and then watching this sort of happen around him and watching people react to him in person has been troubling for her, and she's decided to come out about it. TwitchCon 2017 is when she first had a major issue that caused her to withdraw. So, and she talks about that here. I don't want to go over the exact details or read it verbatim because that's not what I'm here about. I'm here about talking about the person himself and my own experiences with him regarding things. So, just to go into the actual details of it, um, I used to watch his streams and hang out in his chats and his Discord. I think is when it was still a thing. It was actually a thing by that time. But what happened was I live in a town where TennoCon. I live in the town where TennoCon exists, and so him being a big fan of Elite Dangerous, or not Elite Dangerous, it was Warframe. Him being big into that and everything else, he would come out to those events. He would fly up and hang out. And so might have been actually 2017 that it happened where he we all made plans. I'd have to go back and check, but the exact year. But it was when Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man movie, the full stop, Homecoming was out, I believe. And so we were he made plans the night before TennoCon started to get together with community members and just hang out and watch a movie and go out for dinner type of deal. It's like a meetup, like you do. And so, since I knew the town pretty well, I live here, everything else, I said, well, cool, I'll come hang out and go to the thing. And so, so we all started meeting up, and I think I was there first because I didn't see him because I didn't obviously didn't know what he looked like because I hadn't really looked into it. And then he finally called out to me when I was like looking kind of lost when no one was around and everything. And so then we started chatting and there was and besides me that was there was a couple that showed up and then a few other women that showed up. And at one point he made this really bizarre joke about women in general while we were all standing around waiting for the movie to get everyone to show up for the movie. And it's like I just kind of I maybe made a face, I don't know, but like it's like that wasn't appropriate and it didn't seem appropriate and like but no one seemed to be bothered by it, so I didn't say anything. Um, but there was people reacting around him and things like that, and we went and saw the movie, and then we walked to a nearby restaurant for dinner. Um, he was being he was being very careful and things like that. Like we were walking through our downtown here, and some person I didn't know approached me and asked for directions, and by the time I could get anything out of my mouth, Grates was like grabbing me, saying, "Come on, let's keep moving, don't stop." Blah blah. Like I think I know. Like obviously, it's not 100% safe to be just talking to random strangers in the middle of downtown, but I didn't see any threat from the guy, and but so that happened too, and then we got to the restaurant. We were all having dinner, and I was sitting next to this one girl, Alexandria, I think was her name. She was also Warframe streamer, partnered Warframe partner, I believe. And she was reacting to me and looking nervous and reacting to greats and things like that. And at one point, we were talking. Well, she was indicating she was looking for things on like menus on the table. I said, "Well, that's in that one." And she says, "I know that." She reacted very like non, almost threateningly to me, like not in a bad way, but just like in a situation where I could separate from seeing that she was for some reason very tense about something that was happening in the room. I don't know how well she knew Grates at that point, if she was one of the many people that are supposedly involved with him, being groomed by him um, into his clique. But that kind of put me off the whole situation altogether. I'm like, at that point, I was like, okay, I have to leave. And I left, excused myself out, said thanks and for having me, and it was great to see everybody. And then I took off. And at that point, I just kind of, just sorry, lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I kind of moved away from him and from that whole scene, and there was various like reactions to that going from there, like. But yeah, so well, my experience is just like a once off where I saw something that I should have addressed or didn't. Um, these women are going through a lot more. Ameth for sure. She was drawn into that world with greats and then had it drop off. And so it's yeah, it still happened. Yeah, she went through a lot. She went through a very heinous thing, and I mean, there's been a lot of backlash for this whole thing, talking about how you know, about people that are going to take advantage of the situation, and how even people that, and I know that a lot of people that have less sympathy for the situation are basically looking at like you have free will. You could have stopped any time. That's not how these things work. That's not how this all comes together. This is specifically this behavior that these men are going through, are formulating is specifically designed to trap people that don't feel they have that sense of free will, that they don't have that motivation, they come to need that person. So like people that are like loud and obnoxious and are complete jackasses in general to people don't see why it's so difficult for women in general to not fall for this. But it's like they live in their own bubble and they don't understand that things are different for different people. Like they literally find the word grooming obnoxious. It's like how is the word grooming obnoxious? It's and they false do the false equivalency of thinking grooming is just someone that flirts with someone. Like you can't flirt with someone or you're grooming with them. You can't joke around or hang out with someone or try to date someone if you're someone with a lot of clout in the industry or you're grooming them for something else, for to be part of your clique. So I've been able to watch this from both sides just because of where I hang out and who I spend time with and such. But that happened to Amalith, and she made a Twitter whatever about it. And there was another one which I'm not gonna be able to tab to. I don't think. Shift. Here we go. We'll look at Sarah next. Sarah E. Holmes from Twitter came out the same day, like the same day, brought it up same day, talking about. There's even another one. I didn't even see this one. I'm gonna have to pull this up separately. But apparently there's another one. But let's talk about Sarah first. Okay, looks like during PAX East 2018, trying to place interstate a group of friends around me. So she entered a relationship with him in back in 2018. He definitely looks like it's a whole lot of more of this manipulation and basically entering into a relationship and everything about the relationship being consensual as far as you know the intimacy of it, but all the manipulation and gaslighting, as she puts it, was not normal behavior for this type of thing, and she did not consent to that, obviously. And how she was being told to push away her friends, or basically he was basically saying things about her friends that made her push them away. Basically, basically taking advantage of someone that was, missing being in a relationship, missing getting attention from someone that she just sort of went with it and enjoyed it, or looked away from certain things that were happening. So he has a long history of this apparently, and I know you can obviously have the backdrop of the stream here, that one of his streams, just a snapshot. But as soon as this all went down, like that day he did a stream, but he did a subs only stream. It was sub only chat, and you couldn't even access the live show or watch. He basically doubled down on everything and basically brought all his already gaslit fan base into the fold to hang out and stay away for like basically hide from all the attacks. I'm gonna need to look that up though. Oh, let's do this here. I'm just gonna look up this other person. Cordialicious. And I'm going to let's see here. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I gotta hide this. Sorry guys, I'm just doing this on the fly more or less. Bookmarks. We're gonna turn off that bar. We're gonna bring this over here. On top of that, You stole my trust in you and warped it to keep me silent. Wow. So yeah, so here she was. She talks about how at age 16, what? Apparently she was abused when she was 16, when she was in church. And she talks about 24 and how she hang out with a bunch of dudes and yeah, she talks about how this is a very confused person. But yeah, not that her experience isn't real to her. Clearly, there's a lot going on, and she's been dealing with a lot over this time. Used me as a secret plaything 2 years ago. Like, all this stuff seems to be happening out of 2018 with everyone that's involved. So yeah, there's another one. So I didn't even know about that one. And then we have let's see if I go back here. 5, 4. There we go. Also, we have Vidani, who was a really close friend. Why is that popping up? Oh, wait, I can't even tell if that showed up on the thing now. But anyways, a lot going on. Apparently, at least 4 women have spoken up about Great's behavior, and now Donnie specifically has been kind of raked over the coals for her rendition of events because it was all from the perspective of someone that was being treated like a crazy psycho person by Greats. So I have a feeling that a lot of what she's remembering and was dealing with is not clear in her mind just because of how emotionally traumatizing it was and how she was treated. Like she said, like if someone that was completely crazy and stuff, like and then also what she talked about too. Come on, she talked about it too, about how she was basically told that it was basically was put to her as someone that was having like a mental breakdowns in front and then anxiety attacks in public and then so she was just ignoring it and letting him deal with it. But all this time it was him like basically bouncing between different people, treating them like playthings, tossing them away when they became too complicated or difficult for him. So yeah, I'm gonna stop there. This has again been a long one, but I wanted to, just because I have my own personal experience with this particular individual, talk about the situation. I can't see myself bringing this up again. This is now the second video I've done about this, and it's too difficult to talk about, and it's not really fair to the people involved to just sort of brush over this so quickly. But I don't really have another way of addressing it myself beyond putting it up on the page, is sort of to get it off my chest so I can show to them, because I replied to him with, like I said, I saw him behaving this way and I didn't call it out, and I feel sick. And I feel bad that I didn't, tell him, like, that's not a cool thing to say. Even just sort of, even if it meant that I wasn't going to be able to like be his friend, I had to like continue to be his friend or be someone that would he would have want to talk to. Just basically say, hey, cool, that's not cool, dude. I mean, if you're a person that is trying to be better and you get called out on stuff like this, your reaction should be, oh, I didn't know, or I didn't realize, and and coming back to that and basically addressing it instead of what people are led to believe or what the mentality is with those that are trapped in the situation. It's like, I can't call him out or he'll never talk to me again, you know? And it's obviously I didn't go through this near the same amount of trauma any of these women did, but it's something I had to talk about today. And I've been sort of holding on this for a couple days since it popped out. So I'm glad to get this video out and get this sort of move on. I want to be able to put a period on this and say these people are calling out his behavior. He's going to be having to deal with it. He is currently turtling, but he's going to have to deal with it eventually. And when he does, it's going to be good. So I hope everyone has a good day. Otherwise, sorry for the length of this video. It's stupid long for my type of video for videos that I do. But that's all I gotta say for now. So thanks for watching. If you like this content, if you enjoy the channel, please put a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.